Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are around the world. My name is Alex Hellos, also known as Ozone Never Miss, and welcome to the first round of the Invictus GT Sport League. Today we are at the Dragontail Gardens for the first round, and as you can see, we've got some great times happening at the moment. We've got Stifler second place. We've got Tamworth Fox first place, taking professional pole at the moment. We've got Sasuke, who's third place, doing a quick pit stop, and a nice different livery from last week's race, especially with Stifler as well. Dosis in fourth place, and I'm thinking his livery is kind of the same as last week. Ton Albanech, who I will mainly be calling Wave Intel, as he was also known for, and also we have Will M in the same livery as last time. Mr. Stim, that's a nice new livery he's got on this week. Rally Matthew, who was last week's feature race winner from the pre-season in Austria. Arthur Mayo, who did pretty well last week, and Gazaman, who I think has a Red Bull based livery, but we can't see properly because he hasn't gone out yet, but we will see soon. Before this stream starts, I would like to say next week's stream might not happen because I will be unavailable unless they get a replacement for next week. Hopefully the stream will go on, but that's not from my part to say, and that's from everyone else's. But moving on to today, not to next week, and like I said again, we are at the Dragontail Gardens. To those who are joining for the first round of the Invictus GT Sport League, and Stifler so far making a good time. Tamworth Fox making a good time. My mistake. Tamworth Fox making a good time with a 1:30.8 at this moment. Arthur Armeo is running up top at the moment, as Tamworth is in the pits. Must be around first to second or third place at this moment. Last week's livery of the day was Stifler with a nice salmon pink, and this week seems to be a bit different, a bit more natural. This one, I like the little Scottish flags on the rear wings. That's actually quite nice little touch he has added as well. But looking at everyone else, Artur Mayo, I think has a new livery from last week. Dosis kind of I think still has that Texaco based livery as well. Yep, and there it is there from top view. Going to Susuke, different livery this time, quite different. I like the half and half change. Nice livery there. Rally Matthew, same livery as last week. I think that's Williams based from the 20th century, from the old F1 Grand Prix. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know my liveries that much. Wave Intel with the same liveries as last week, but very nice indeed. Mr. Stim, a nice blue. I like the blue on the livery. I think it's very different from last week. I don't seem to. I can't recall seeing the blue from last week, but nice looking livery there. Will M with the same livery as last week as well, the American based livery, and Gazaman with the yellow Red Bull livery, very, very nice. But unfortunately he's not sponsored by Red Bull, but that does not give any negative points. Artois has a nice livery as well, Porsche in the Porsche car, very nice. And the Stig Racing, who's in the Honda, if we could see here. Oh, that's a nice mix of black, white and red. Nice looking livery. And Sir Spud 72 with a nice little creative, colourful, purpley pink, green, lime green coloured livery. And this is a partial view of Tamworth Foxes, who has a nice livery as well, nice splash of paint all over the place, and I think that's everyone at the moment. I'll give my thoughts on everyone's liveries maybe in the middle of the race, or maybe at the end of the first race, and yeah. But moving to the qualifying now, as you join us in the middle of the qualifying. Oh, a bit of an awkward stop there. Must have hit the barrier. Gee whiz! Nice full complete stop. Don't know how that happened. And at this moment in the qualifying, with a 1:30.6 is Susuke, who's doing a nice time so far. But it's very, very close, because last time Tamworth Fox had a 1:30.8, so he was around 200th of a second off, or 2000th of a second off. Hopefully Twitch doesn't ban with the pictures there. But Stifler doing a little lap, maybe a little lap around, looking on board camera, see what it looks like around the Dragon Tail Gardens. Very, very different from all the tracks that I've raced on in F1 and GT Sport combined. I haven't clearly raced on this track properly, so I don't really know much about the corners or anything. Well, I think it's based in Croatia, I think, if I'm correct. But hopefully I'll get the facts hopefully for the next track in 2 weeks' time when I'm back. Because unfortunately I got my information all packed up for my vacation, which I'm off to. So unfortunately I don't have many facts about these tracks for now. But looking at Stifler going into the next corner, taking it nice and steady. Kind of just misses the apex, but does he get this one? Does it just right? Hits that. Goes around the final corner. Will he do a good time? I think he's going to be a second off. Yeah, he will. I think that was around 2 seconds off, or a second or 2 seconds off. And he did not beat his time. Oh, there's a yellow flag. I think someone must have had a bit of a spin somewhere. Let's look at Susuke's point of view on board. See how he does around here after his out lap. So just behind Rally Matthew as well, so this could interrupt his time. Going around the first corner, very fine at the moment. And then into, I think, if I'm correct, second corner. Oh, a little chicane, so turn 2 and turn 3 and turn 4. So a triple chicane there. Hopefully Rally Maffei does not interrupt his time, otherwise there's going to be a bit of a clash between those two drivers. All a bit swerving as well. Maybe a bit stuck. Is Rally Maffei going to let him through? Doesn't seem to be. As we go around the next corner. Here we go into... let's just say that there is quite a lot of corners around this track. Oh, Rally Maffei goes a bit sideways. No contact. Luckily, no contact. And Rally Maffei, what a recovery as well. Not hitting the barrier or anything. An amazing recovery there. Into the next few corners we go. And under the nice tunnel straight. And at this moment, I think he's doing very well. I think his time might be a bit interrupted by Rally Maffei going sideways there. But still an amazing recovery. Just behind him as well. We'll go over to Rally Maffei in a minute after Susuke finishes his time. Not going to be better as going around 3 seconds. Yep, 3 seconds worse. So we're going to go down to Rally Maffei. Who's going to do his time. Going into the first corner. Just hitting the drain cutters or apex. Here we go into the chicanes here. The first one, second one, and here we go into the third one. Nicely done as well. Bit shaky there at the exit, but manages. Oh, a bit of a spin by Susuke. Nice ice skating display, spinning display by him. And here we go into the next corner with Rally Maffei though. Taking it quite slow. Oh, he's going. Oh no, he's into the pits, which is quite unfortunate. that could have been a good time, but I think he kind of ruined it. Let's look at Kazaman's Tedra's point of view. Having the same livery as last time. We didn't see the livery properly, as he wasn't connecting yet. But here's Tedra's livery, and it seems that Waventel has left the room. But here's Tedra's nice Mercedes Petronas cut, and with a hint of Coca-Cola, as you can see there very closely. Nice livery. Just behind Sir Spud, but Sir Spud lets him through, which is a good sign of maybe him doing an outlap. Not 100% sure, but we'll see. Very close to Rally Mathy, 960 thousandths of a second off. Okay, we're going around the final corner, and Tedra approaching the finish straight. Wave until reconnecting, so looks like he's not going to miss a thing. Not improved my time. A bit of a second slower than his best. Hopefully he will be able to improve. Moving into Gazaman's nice yellow and black Red Bull based livery, and just realising that is part of his livery is Mate and the little Red Bulls there, all shiny as well. That's going to be bonus points there for him. Nice finishing touches there. Just to add as well for my livery of the day, as he goes around the final corners here. And fastest lap at the moment, Tamworth Fox. Just realising, yep, Tamworth Fox making a new best time of a 1:30.303. A great time there. I think that's 300th seconds. 300th of a second away from Susuke now. And then we go into the very confusing chicanes. Left, right, left. And nicely done by Gazaman as well. So here we go into a nice peaceful little swervy corners here and into a straight. Into the next corner. Let's see if he does well. He goes quite slowly. Does very well. Makes it quite calm, collected. Doesn't lose control. Very nice exit as well. Hopefully, I think he's hoping to improve his time as he goes around the Dragon Tail Gardens circuit. Very nice circuit. I think, gotta be honest, looking in the point of view cars as well. Looking into this point of view though, I think this is going to be a nice cinematic view of the track with the cars going past as well, especially with that nice Red Bull livery. I think that's going to be a candidate for livery of the day. But we'll see as more people will be joining, hopefully. But here we go into the final few corners. And Gazaman seems to do it pretty well. Nice exit onto the apex. Will he improve his time though? Here we go. 1:30. Not going to go first, but crosses the line. 0.529 seconds better. And unfortunately, still remains 10th place. Let's look at Stig Racing's point of view as he drives around Dragontail Gardens. He's just behind Tamworth Fox, but I don't think he's going to be a bit faster. But he makes a better time in the first sector, which is a great start. As we heard, seems to go quite. Unfortunately, that could ruin his time a bit, but I think that's what he's going to try and plan to do. If Stig has enough pace, he might hopefully. But going a bit wide. Nearly losing control. Luckily, with a great recovery, hitting the apex there a bit too much, riding on that too much. And here we go into the next corner, and does it quite well. Goes a bit wide, I think. Yeah, he's going a bit too wide, and he just gets that apex. So I don't think he's going to be faster than Tamworth Fox at this rate, but hopefully he might get a top 10 spot if he can improve his time this well. And going into the final two corners, and there we go. Nice entrance there. Bit of a doesn't find the exit quite well. Bit of a skid as well, as you can hear from the skid marks. And there we go into the final straight line, and doesn't really, unfortunately, improve his time. Just makes it. But he did really good in the first sector. but doesn't do quite well in the rest of the track. Looking at Dosis, who's third place, not quite far behind Susuke to maybe clinch second place. If he gets this right, of course, he might be able to get second. Stig Racing leaving the room, unfortunately. Oh, best lap, purple sector as well for Dosis, which could be a provisional pole for him at this moment. Don't know, unsure what the time it is. We have about 5 minutes left until the race starts, as I've been told that the race could be starting around half 8 or 8:25, as there is no time limit in the qualifying. And let's see if he does this sector right, and if he does, he might be able to get pole. No, he doesn't. He just gets a personal best and around this bit, a 0.217 faster than his personal best. And here he goes around these tricky corners, and a nice little straight, nice little relaxing straight, in my honest opinion, before we go into the last few corners, as we have to brake quite hard around the last two. And there we go, let's get a good entrance and good exit, and I think it is good. Nice exit as well. Will he be able to beat his time, and will he be able to beat Tamworth Fox's time? And there we go, 29 into the 30, going up to second place with not beating Susuke, and up to second place he goes. Seems that Susuke's not moving at the moment. Moving up to Mr. Stim, who's doing a nice lap around Dragentail, and also a candidate for livery of the day with Gazaman as well. Does really well in sector 2 as we join them a bit late, 0.260. But I think with that time, I think he will not be able to catch up to Gazaman, but able to widen the gap with Artois Manta if he makes another personal best around this very nice track. So into the final corner Mr. Stim goes, and into the final straight, and there we go, eminently across the line, and makes it, yep, increases the gap very, very much ahead of Manta, but closes a bit more on Gazaman, but slips around the first corner. Oh dear, I think that's going to be off for a bit, and there's Gaza as well going off. Oh Jesus, I think this is going to be something to watch out in that first corner. We're going to have to see what's going to happen in the first lap as well, as there could be carnage, especially with drivers going wide and also going off track, turning into a dirt rally game. So let's see Manta doing a track around Dragentail, saying it too much. I think it's going to be quite annoying. So nice view there. So it goes into the next few corners. Oh, the very tricky chicane, to be honest, right in the first sector. So that ends the very tricky first sector, and here we go. Let's see if he does improvement on his time. Does he? Does it with a 0.243, which is a great first sector, but not enough to catch up to Stim, but is able to widen the gap with Will, who's just behind him with a 0.109. And here we go into the next few corners. Goes Manta, nice braking there. Not hitting the apex, unfortunately, but great exit though. And it seems that Tetras has started the final, so it seems that this time will not count, as we're starting quite early, a minute early, but let's see what will happen in this amazing track. I think there's going to be quite some dramas here. So here is your top drivers here. So Tamworth Fox, Dosis, Susuke, Kazi, Mayo, Stifler, Rally Maffey, Wave Intel, Tejua, Gazamance, Mr. Stim, and also Manta, Will, and Spud. So here we go. The countdown happens, and away we go for the feature race. Half an hour long, and I think everyone's off to a great start. It seems to be a clean start as well. Tamworth Fox off to a brilliant start into the first corner, but it seems that Dosis is going to be catching up from the minute, followed by Gazman just hitting the grass. And this is Susuke as well, going around the outside of all the Java drivers. There's going to be quite a lot of battles happening. Doesn't seem to be a yellow flag at the moment. Here comes Gazaman trying to go around Kazi. But Wave Intel off to a great start, overtaking Mayo, and off to catch up Gazaman to get up to 5th place. Looking behind the track, it looks like Will is off to try and overtake Stifler as well, and he goes around the inside. He goes very easily taken as well. Brilliant overtake, very easy, making it look easy. Bell's bit of a slip up there, but still retains 8th place. And here we go, a bit all free wide happening there, and then more free wide, and there goes Rally Maffey's just getting around off track, nearly hitting Tejua as he rejoins very dangerously, but manages to cling on. But here we go, Rally Maffey now defending between Stifler and Spud. Spud goes off track, he gets around, oh and there we go, sideways as well. And I think Mans is off as well, as he's a bit slowed down as well. Stifler though, catching up to Rally Maffey. Very difficult track that part, as we had 2 drivers already going off track, entering the dirt world. Trying to go around the inside of Rally Maffey, but seems to have a bit of a positive pace. But I think the gap is widening, and Rally Maffey is definitely going ahead. Looking back, I think we're going to look at the fight between Will and Stim. Unfortunately, I can't change the camera, so I can't see everyone's point of view. So here we go with the battle for 8th place between Will and Mr. Stim. Into the tricky chicane we go, and also known as the end of Sector 1, as we go through the little straight here. Tejua just behind Will as well, trying to catch up a bit, but maybe be able to catch up, as Will at this moment fighting goes a bit wide. This could be Tejua's chance to overtake and have advantage, but Rally Maffey and Seth is just joining in the fight as well. So it seems to be a bit of a huge fight happening here at the moment, as Mrs. Tim increases that gap after Will's mistake. But Tejua still just about a second ahead, but it seems like Rally Maffey's about to catch up, closing the gap, but is going up to a second, going down to 9 to 8. Very, very close racing here at the moment, but could be anyone's race in the mid sector. But here we go, Wave Intel going around the inside of Gazaman in a nice yellow and black Red Bull car, going a bit wide unfortunately, as Gazaman regains 5th place, and looks like Artois Mayo is going to go around the outside of Wave Intel on the right side of him, makes a really good time as well, and gains up 6th place as he heads through the first corner. Very nice move by Mayo. Looking up the grid, there seems to be a big fight between Kazi, Doses and Susuke up for 2nd place, but I think Kazi is just desperate to get that podium at the moment. But I think Doses is mainly looking after to get more greens and get 2nd place, and not very worrying about what the car behind him. But looking up to back at 5th place, it seems that Mayo has seemed to catch up to Gazaman and maybe making a move anytime soon. Could it go left, could it go right? This is a very difficult corner to overtake in, and doesn't seem to play it safe at the moment. Oh, just touching the back of Gazaman, unfortunately, but manages to retain his grip. But I think he's trying to go around the outside. No, he's not. He seems to keep on going and could go around the inside. Just a bit touch. He slides a bit, but manages to retain his grip. Oh, nearly hits with Little. Oh dear me. He slides all around and Mr. Sim gains the advantage, going up to 7th place. Oh dear me. There goes Mayo, going down 2 places. Very unfortunate. Oh dear. Looking at Mr. Stim, but now there's going to be a bit of a fight now between Mr. Stim and Wave Intel, 2 rivalries that I've seen last week back at the Red Bull Ring. Very amazing race that was, despite not knowing how all the standings work and the HUDs. But looking back at the fight for 6th place, it seems like Gazaman's trying to increase that gap, but it's mere second. But seems that Wave Intel is closing that gap still, but Stim is kind of trying to worry Wave Intel as he's closing the gap behind him. So it's very, very close at this moment. Looking at these drivers fighting at the moment, it looks like Mayo's going to make a move around the inside of Mr. Stim. Will he make it? And he does very easily. Look, and no, he goes a bit wide, and Mr. Stim is still fighting for it. They touch as well. It seems that hasn't been much of a contact there. As they go around the next corner, Mr. Stim still trying fighting for it. Mayo kind of slides a bit there, but Mr. Stim still defends his position and still gains 7th place, but looks like Mayo is not going to give up. He goes like, no, I do not like this at all. I want to go up to 7th place, and he's going to try again until he reaches 7th place. And it seems that with this fight going on between these two drivers, Wave Intel is gaining on Gazaman to gain 5th place, which is very, very close, very, very close midfield. Looking up the grid, it seems that Susuke is increasing the gap, and Turmoil Fox making this look easy with a 3-second gap. Very easy. But looking back, it seems that, looks like Wave Intel made a move. It's gone up to 5th place, but Gazaman's like, no, I want that position back. Was about to join in the fight as well, and it seems that he does not get the position just yet. There's a huge fight, many contacts, but it looks like R2 Mayo. Oh my goodness, what a move! A 2-car overtake, and I think he's side by side with Wave Intel, and it looks like Wave Intel's gone up to 5th place. They're both fighting for it. This is gone crazy in this straight. Wave Intel with the advantage going through the inside. Amazing fight between these drivers. Porsche versus Honda. Who is going to win? Gee whiz, what an amazing fight between those two drivers. Mayo almost gaining about 2 to 3 places, but looking behind, Rally Maffei is fighting up. I think Rally Maffei started kind of backfield, but must have woken up a bit and now trying to get up to that podium place, and seems to be fighting for 6th place with R2R Mayo, and could happen around this maybe these corners, but has the slipstream just behind the very similar looking liveries as well, by the way, maybe teammates. And there we go, a bit of a slide there by Rally Maffei, but still just gets it just right. Stifler as well, just behind Rally Maffei, so it seems that everyone is going to be fighting for it midfield. And it seems that Ton Albanach is going to be in trouble now, as we have lots of drivers desperately going to get that 5th place. We got Mayo, we got Riley Maffei, we got Stifler, and maybe Stim searching for revenge as he's gone way down to 9th place. Don't know what happened to Gazaman. It seems that Gazaman's all down to 14th place. There must have been some contact. But look, speaking of contact, there's been whoa, what's happening here? Riley Maffei going sideways into the barrier. Oh dear, and nearly hitting into Tejua as well, but luckily ghosting through Rally Maffei. No huge contact has happened. Looking up for 5th, looking at that 5th place fight, seems to be a lot of fights happening at this moment. Stifler as well, very close as well, and also Mr. Stim has caught up with the group as well. Maybe if he gets that gap right and gets that pace right, Tetra could be joining in the fight as well. So it could be a huge battle for 5th place. So a huge train is happening right now between these lots of cars. Mayo looking for advantage, looking for a little weakness that Mayo can get to, going up to 6th place as he goes around the inside. Oh, just a bit of contact with Wave Intel, goes around the inside but manages to get 5th place. And here we go, another fight between Wave Intel and Stifler, and Stifler could get a fight in a minute as well, going left or right. Anything could happen, but it looks like Wave Intel could go around the left, going around the inside of the first corner. No contact yet, but just hits the grass a bit, but manages not to lose the control. Wave Intel, what's going on? A 3-car battle. They all crash. Wave Intel, oh no! Oh, Wave Intel down to 8th place. Oh no, more drama. This is an absolute cracker of an opening race, and it seems that Stifler has got a penalty and needs to slow down. Otherwise, that's going to be added to his time at the end of this race. Very unfortunate for Stifler, and very, very unfortunate for Wave Intel. very, very insane race so far. Looking up the grid, it seems that there's not going to be much of a fight, as they're all merely 2 seconds apart. But looking, bit of a nice drifting there, guys. But this is not best drift in the world. But Stifler goes into the barrier again, just clipping the grass and the apex and riding on the apex too much. And there goes, losing a few positions, going down to 9th place. God, excuse me, I need a breathe from that. What an amazing race so far. Exciting stuff. As Manta is now catching up to Stim for 6th place, and doesn't seem that much is happening at the front still. Moving down, seems that nothing much. Will's gone down to 14th. Gazman's searching for revenge. He's up to 12th. Tejuar could be fighting for 9th place, as Sir Spud could go around the outside of Stifler. Could he make that move? And I think he has made that. No, whoa, wait, where's he gone? He's gone straight into the barrier. Oh, no. Oh dear, that goes Spud's chance to go up to 9th place, and it looks like Stifler's going into the pits after his tyres are now wrecked. After me going out for a pint or two. And it seems that lots of drivers are in the pits, and seems to be going out quite around the same time. Spud taking that advantage, going up to 7th place. At this moment we've got Tamworth, Susuke, Dosis, Kazi, Mayo, Tejuar, Spud, Manta, Rally Maffey, Stim, Ton Albanich, who's also known as Wave Intel, Will, Stifler, Gazaman. At this moment, very, very close race. Insane contact, but here we go. Wave Intel going around Mr. Stim like it was easy, and we go into the next corner. Mr. Stim breaks a bit late, but seems to not have the advantage as he goes around, tries to go around the outside. Stim loses a bit of a controller, but regains it very quickly. So it seems to be a Porsche versus Audi moment here for 10th place. Looks like Stim's very desperate for those points here, especially in the opening feature race. But whatever happens, they're going to have a bit more of a fight in the sprint race if they finish where they are at the moment, as as they are going to be maybe fighting for the front, if I'm correct. So there's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 4th and 5th they could be fighting for if they finish at this state. And it seems to be okay. Very, I think this is going to be a huge rivalry between both Wave Intel and Mr. Stim throughout this whole season. But we'll be finding out where they're going to be throughout this whole entire race. But here we go, Sir Spud going into the pits, and seems to be going down the grid again, which is quite unfortunate. Tejuar slowly gaining up on Mayo as he's closing in the gap a bit. Looking up the grid, not seem to be huge gaps. Look at Tamworth Forks, 9.5 second gap. A huge gaps there. And also Kazi, a 17.8 gap to 3rd. Must be. I think he still needs to pit. I think Susuke has pitted, so I think Dosis has pitted as well. So, and also with Susuke, 7.6 seconds ahead of Dosis, and Dosis is 6 seconds behind on Mayo. So it seems that the top 4 has kind of got their places kind of sorted. But here we go, Tamworth and Kazi going into the pits. Susuke, I think, has pitted. I'm not 100% sure, unless Kazi has very quickly teleportedly caught up with both Susuke and Dosis and overtook them both. And it seems they're still in the pits, and Susuke is going to go up to P1 at this moment. And here we go, and Dosis as well could be going up to P2. And look, Tamworth Fox is out, and Dosis. Where's Dosis? I can't seem to view Dosis. I think Dosis has gone into the pits, which is quite unfortunate. And here we go into the final few corners. Ton Albanich looking at a gap to find and overtake Will M, and seems to be trying to find a back gap. Could go around the left side, could go around the inside of Will M in the first corner, and I think he's going to be trying that as well as he goes around the inside, making it look easy. Wave Intel up to 10th place into the points again. Looking at the rest of the grid, there doesn't seem to be much of a fight going on, but Wavington increasing that gap after that overtake on Will. Stifler could be seeking a lot of position gains after that huge spin he had into the barrier as well. Gazaman as well, as he had a huge mistake as well. Unfortunately, I think he lost a couple of places, which is quite unfortunate. He does deserve to be higher than 13th at this moment. And Sir Spud doing very well, not giving up. I think he's going to be, as he's not giving up, I think he's going to be my driver of this race, driver of the race, as he's still limping on 14th place, not giving up. A great driver, very unique driver as well, especially from the other Invictus races such as F2 on Wednesdays. Very good driver. Looking up, I think there could be a fight between Rally Matthew and Manta, as they're both less than a second apart, and Rally's going to be gaining on him very fast, and the rapid rate now gone to 8 seconds. 0.8 seconds, and now I think that Manta's slowing down a bit as well. So I think he's braking a bit late. Rally Matthew going back to a second. 0.5. Here we go. There could be a move any second or any minute now. If we head to the next corner, 0.2, 0.1, here we go. Round the outside, round the inside. It seems to he's playing it safe as he goes a bit wide, checking that apex very nicely, and a brilliant exit as well. Rally Matthew could have a huge advantage from that, as he tries to gain on Manta very fast. And it seems to be playing defensively at the moment, as he's not making many moves. So here we go, 0.3. Could Rally Matthew make a move? Maybe at the finish straight. I think he's waiting for that finish straight to make that move. On the bonnet as well, on the back bonnet, on the rear of Manta at the moment. He could go around the left or the right, maybe could go around the outside of this corner or around the inside, but it seems that Manta's still following the racing line, and Matthew goes off the track a bit, but still manages to be a lot more quicker than Manta. Going down and decreasing that gap, gaining the pace on Manta must be that slipstream that's giving him lots of that advantage. Unfortunately not making a move yet. We're going to go back to him in a minute, but I think it seems Rally Matthew has made a move and has gone up to 7th place, as Manta must have made a tiny mistake, and looks like Rally has made the attack to go up to 7th place, and now desperately to increase that gap to get away from him. But it seems that Manta is going to have more advantage now, as he's going to be following Rally Matthew's slipstream, as the gap's already increasing. I think they must have touched a bit, because I think Rally Matthew had a bit of a boost from that. But going 0.5, I think the gap between those cars is very close at the moment, as both cars are going to be using their slipstreams for advantage. Looking down the grid, it doesn't seem to be much of a fight. Let's look up the grid between these two cars. More like 3 cars, Kazi, Mayo and Tejua. I think Tejua is still waiting to pit yet. I'm not 100% sure, but we have these 3 cars, Kazi, Mayo and Tejua. Like I said again, I'm still fighting for P4. I think a little fight for P4, but I think Kazi has been making a 2-second gap now. Mayo very desperate, and it's now less than a second ahead of Tejua. Tejua could be making a move for 5th place anytime soon, unless he makes a mistake or brakes a bit too early. Going around this nice, very tricky chicane as well, and the number 86 driver, as you can see at the number there. And ending that very tricky chicane. Very nicely done. Nice exit from that. Good on him. And unfortunately, I think the gap is now increasing though, so I don't think there's going to be much of a fight at this moment. Except the only time it's decreasing is when they all brake. I think Mayo's braking a bit early, but still gaining that advantage after turning and getting a nice exit, which seems to be a bit, which gives him more of a chance. And it all goes off track a bit. Unfortunately, but still is way ahead of Tejua, maybe turning into 2 seconds. Yep, there we go, into the 2 second zone, just for maybe a few seconds, for like a second or two there. As Tejua is still gaining on him and it's not giving up. Susuke finally goes into the pits, and there goes Tamworth Fox going back to his original spot, up to first place. Dosis as well up to second. It seems that I think something's gone wrong with his pit strat. Is he going down to fourth place? He's off. He's off. He's gone down to fifth place now as Tejua goes into the pit as well, and Mayo goes into the pits. I think Susuke is still waiting. Yeah, there he goes. Off he goes. Fourth place he's gonna get. So he's lost. I think he's lost about 2 places, because I think he was originally around second to third place. So I think that's him losing a lot of places. 10 seconds behind Kazi. So that's quite unfortunate. But Tamworth Fox still gaining a huge gap with 5.5 seconds. Looking at the back, we're going to look at Gazaman now, as he's now not far behind Manta, as who we saw earlier, being overtook by Rally Mathy. As Rally Mathy has made an insane gap, as we last saw, and they must have bumped a bit then, as I just went back on him. And Stim, just after exiting the pit lane, is now going to join the fight for 9th place now, and it seems to be quite close at this moment. Yeah, we're going to go into the difficult chicane, and seems that everyone is still A-OK. And I think Stim is going to be waiting to make a move now. Gazaman is going to be like, I think I don't want him to overtake me now, especially what happened last time, because they had a bit of a collision there. Oh, Manta makes a bit of a mistake. He hits Gazaman. Oh no, Manta hits Gazaman, and Gazaman was going to go up to 9th place there, but seems that that's not going to happen, because I think he was trying to make a move, but I think Manta must have either lost control as he went off track, or he must have got angry after that little contact. But looking back at Mr. Stim, it seems that Mr. Stim's now quite catching up to Gazaman quite rapidly, going round the inside he goes. Could Mr. Stim make it very fully? And I think he does. The gap now increases as Mr. Stim makes a very nice move on Gazaman, and now his next target is surely going to be Manta for 9th place. But right, Stifler goes into the pits. Yep, I think Wave Intel is going to overtake as well. Maybe not for Sparta, as he's just about to go around the final corner. Yep, Stifler is out of the pits, and Wave Intel just goes ahead, going full speed. Not much of a fight going back. 35-second gap, so Stifler must be quite comfortable 12th place at this moment, as we now have a time remaining of 6 minutes and 35 seconds to go to the end of race 1. And depending where they're going to finish, they're going to be all flipped and reversed in race 2 for the sprint, which was going to be 15 minutes long. But looking back at the fight between Manta and Mr. Stim has gained a huge advantage, and maybe now getting some slipstream off of Manta, so could make a move anytime soon. Could be at the next few corners, or maybe at the finish straight. 0.5 seconds behind as we go around the next corner. I think the gap's increasing and decreasing at the same time. He's braking a bit early, and seems to be increasing at the moment, but as soon as they go up to the next corner, it all depends what Mr. Stim does at this corner. Could go late, could go early, but whichever one he does, it could give him an advantage to get that slipstream still on Manta. 0.3, and here we go, the slipstream advantage. Here we go, still dragging behind Manta as he goes. Could he go? Yep, he goes around the left side, and there we go, Mr. Stim. Could he go around? Could he finish the move? Going up to 8th place after a few pit lane stops by some drivers, and there we go, finishing it up to 8th place. A great move by Mr. Stim in the first corner, especially before those chicanes as well. It's going to be a lot of help from him if he tried to overtake in those chicanes. So it's going to be quite impossible, to be honest. Looking back at 5th place, the fight for 5th it seems that Tejua is still fighting for it at the moment. It's less than a second still. Must be getting that summer slipstream advantage. Maybe he's not. It all depends how it all works out for him as we go down to the last 5 minutes of this race. Doses takes the pit stop. It looks like Susuke could be overtaking, and here we go. Yep, Susuke goes overtaking up to 3rd place. He now has a podium, and Doses is now down to 4th place, and I think Artois Mayo could get 4th place as well, but he goes around the final corner. Doses is off, and there could be a very small gap. Seems to be a bit of a 20, no, there we go, 7 seconds. 7 second gap, bit of a glitch there by the game itself. And it seems that Tej is not going to be making a move at this moment. So as we look around the grid right now, as we go down to the final 4 minutes, Tamworth Forks galloping ahead with an 8-second gap. 1st place. Kaze, I think, maybe still needs to make a stop, but I think he won't be able to, and maybe claim this very easily as with 4-second gap. 2nd place. Susuke could be having it, making it a Sunday drive now. Also, the 3rd livery of the day contender. 3rd place with a 9-second gap. Doses as well, maybe having a Sunday drive as well. 7-second gap. 4th place. Mayo kind of lightly fighting for it, maybe pushing a lot, getting away from Tejua as he's 5th place, less than a second. 8-second time gap is with Tejua as he's 6th place. Randy Matthews pushing towards Tejua, but unfortunately I think he's gonna be remaining 7th place for the rest of the race as with an 8-second gap. 7th place. Mr. Stim fighting with Manta at this moment for 8th place as he's less than a second ahead. Manta, and as we say, Manta is fighting with Stem at the moment with less second gap. 7 seconds ahead of Wave Intel, who's 9th. Wave Intel, who's less than a second behind Stifler, so they must be both fighting for it. Porsche versus Audi at the moment. Stifler with a huge gap, so he doesn't have to worry about behind him at the moment. Who's 11th place, desperate for those to have his points in the opening race. Gazaman fighting with Spuds, a very could be a close fight at the end of this race, but maybe increasingly the gap as he goes up to 2nd gap. Spud 6 seconds ahead of Will, who's 13th, and Will 14th. And fastest lap so far goes to Mayo with a 1:31.0. But looking at these few fights at the moment, it seems that Stim has a huge gap now out of nowhere. And we're gonna look at Stifler and Wave Intel, as there's quite a small gap between those two drivers, between both Scott's drivers, I should say. Going around into the next corner, 0.2 could go around the inside, but it seems that Wave Intel seems to still defending us. Like, no, I want to have these points in this opening race. It's very, very crucial as well. But I think that's for sure. I think everyone's very, very desperate for points. But there is going to be another transfer for points later today, as we're going to have a sprint race which will be 15 minutes long. So just like last season, there's going to be the half an hour race which we're on right now, and the 15-minute race which will be on later on in about 6 to 7 minutes now, which will happen. But speaking about this race, we're now on the last minute, so this could be everyone's last lap. With the gap, 26 seconds, I think Gazaman could be finishing his lap right now, maybe? Or maybe Will could be finishing. It all kind of depends, but there is a fight for 2nd place now. Kazi has caught up with Susuke. And has less than a second. And now there's going to be a fight for 2nd place unless... Oh, goes off at the grass a bit. Kind of great recovery though, but unfortunately, the gap is now increasing. Very, very unfortunate for Kazi, and is now stuck in 3rd place as we go down to the final 50 minutes. I think Tamworth Fox is going to make this look easy. Final 10 seconds. Is he going to slow down, or is he just going to stay there for a while as we go into the final 3 seconds? And it seems that he's going to cross the line. Yep, he's now on his final lap of the race, and here he comes Susuke. I think finishing the race. Yep, there we go. Susuke finished. There goes Kaze finishing as well. Dosis crossing line for 4th place. Mayo going up to 5th place. Still fighting with Tedra. Tedra very, very close, but unfortunately I think he's not going to get it. Could go around the inside, photo finish, but Mayo gets 5th place and Tedra gets 6th. Rally Maffei taking 7th place. Sunday drive at the end of that race. Mr. Stone driving very well, especially driving from a bit of the back, going up to 8th place with a huge gap at the end. A fight between 2 drivers, Stifler and Tonabanic. Manta going up to 9th place, but it seems that Stifler is going up to 10th, and Wave Intel is 11th. Gazaman is still driving at this moment, going on the final few corners. But we only have 3 drivers driving at the moment. And here comes Gazaman going around the final corner. Tamworth Fox still doing his final lap, just trying to find out where Stim is. I think he's just ahead of Tamworth Fox as well. So there goes Gazaman for 12th place. Susbud going around the final corner. I don't think there's going to be an orange point, but it looks like Susbud's going to get 13th place. And our winner of the first race of the feature race is going to be Tamworth Fox for 1st place. A great win for him indeed. So there you have it, the first race of the season, which is the feature race, and it seems that Tamworth Fox has took the win, an amazing win indeed. A nice little trophy he's got there, and a nice little thing there. So, as we know the drill from last week's race, I think there's going to be a 5-minute break, and everyone just thanking for the race. So that's a great race from everyone. There's going to be a little bit of a break now, so hold on to your seats. You now have time to get popcorn, maybe get a cup of coffee as well, and we'll catch you all later for the second race. Okay, everyone. We got 10 minutes till the start of the sprint race, which will be 15 minutes long, as you can see on the screen there. I can't really aim it. I would like to talk about what Invictus Racing League does other than GT Sport League. We also have a few other leagues as well, which I did all kind of referred the F1 Racing League, which is what Invictus is mainly known at. I think they've been running since around F1 2016 came out, and I joined as a racer in I think January in 2018 when F1 2017 was a big game at the moment. From my experience, they are a great league. They're very organised, and I very highly recommend them if you want to join. If you want to join, head over to our website. It's down below the screen. I think it's down below if I'm correct. I can't really see at the moment because I don't have my equipment with me. I just have my PS4, and that's just me. We also do other leagues which are around at the moment. I think we have Project Cars 2, and I think we have this FIFA 19 tournament as well. I'm not 100% sure, and hopefully in the future we'll have future projects as well. But I think mainly I highly recommend GT Sport and F1 2019 and also Project Cars and all the other leagues that are around at the moment in the Invictus website, which you can check out, like I said, down below. A little talk about myself. My original name was just Nevermiss. I've been league racing since F1 2017 in January 2018. So I've been league racing for about a year now, which is quite a huge landmark for myself. And it's been good. It's been bad. It's been middle. My opening race didn't go so well in Spain. Unfortunately, I crashed before the first corner. But then Russia, I think it was either Russia or Japan next, and I had a great finish at the end. I think I finished 8th or 5th place, which gave me my first ever points in my esports career, which was great. And basically, so began my career. The second season of Invictus, it was pretty quiet for me. I only did half a season because it was kind of a year of exams and also everything, so I had to leave half the race. But I did come back for season 3. That went okay. I think that happened. F1 2018 came out. If I'm correct, I think. I joined F2 and F3 for a little bit, and I think also Realistic Performance League 2. Realistic Performance League was very special, which very special. That's when I got my first ever podium in the league race. Very huge, and everything. And also in F3, if I'm correct, I think I had a pole position and second place in those races as well, which went really well. And also, I think in other the most recent season I've been in, which has been my fifth season. This is my 5th season with Invictus now. It's going quite well. I've already had 3 races, except I don't really want to talk about the first race. Unfortunately, that didn't go so well in Austria, but Monaco surprisingly went well, finished 5th, and France, which happened yesterday, I finished 8th, which was great. So that's kind of a little bit about me. Well, a little rough facts about me. And also, if you hear me not speaking right, I do apologise. Saying this now, I have speaking problems, so if I say something wrong or have a very awkward silent moment, yeah, just bear with me, you know. It's very difficult, especially speaking very fastly as well as and remembering names and saying names right. But anyways, looking out, we got a few people practicing before the second race of the first round, so small points up for grabs. Stig Racing is back. He had a bit of a connection problem, so unfortunately Stig will have a DNS under the first race, but hopefully, I think if I'm correct, maybe either starting ahead or at the back in the second race. With the winner Tamworth Fox will be starting at the back. I think Susuke will be starting second last, and Cassie starting third last. Will, if I'm correct, will be starting at the front. And Spud will be starting second, and I think Gazaman is going to be starting third. I'm not 100% sure, but we will find out in about 3 minutes time. My mistake, 3 minutes time. Next week there might be a different commentator, as I will be away. Well, starting tomorrow I'll be away, and but I will be back in 2 weeks. I think that's Blue Moon, or I forgot what it's called. Blue Moon Infield. I don't know what the track is called, but I will find out when I come back. If you do enjoy these races today, be sure to check out the other races that happen on this channel. I think if I'm correct, there's also the realistic performance that happens Tuesdays on this one. We have other channels based on the leagues. So I have the no assist leagues doing the no assists. We have the equal performance leagues. We got an F1, F2, and F3. Not just because I race in F2. I recommend watching the recent F2 race yesterday. That's been very insane, dry and wet race. I'm not sure about the other races, I'll check them, but I do recommend those as well. I think, I'm not 100% sure, I think there's Project Cars as well. But yeah, that's kind of mainly everything what Invictus does. It's a great community. If you feel like, if you're interested in joining the league, like this one for example, or the F1 league, be sure to go down to the website and you know, sign up. It's that simple. Just sign up. We'll be starting in well, as you can see down below, we'll be starting in about 2 minutes now. Well, a minute to my phone accordingly. I'm just doing a few final checks, and hopefully we'll be racing in a bit. And also during this stream, if you do hear any background noises, I do apologise. The room I'm in is not soundproof, and the doors aren't soundproof, so you might hear some background noises, which I do apologise. So hopefully any second, any minute, we're going to be starting race 2 of the Invictus GT Sport Dragon Tail Garden race. From seeing the start of race 1, there's been quite a lot of drama, lots of spins, contacts and crashes. Very crazy stuff that happened. I think everyone is giving the thumbs up in the PS4 chat, so I think everyone should be coming out. We've got 5 out at the moment. We need to get all the other ones out. We've got the other 10 drivers that need to come out now. And then do a race. At the moment in this warm-up practice, we've got Manta doing the fast lap of 133.6, but it doesn't really matter how fast you go in this one because it's only a warm-up lap. Or practicing for race 2, as we're about to head off to that in a minute. So if you just please be patient and bear with, and it seems that the race will be underway any second now. And here we go, starting the final. And here we go, final 5 seconds, and the final race of today will begin. So here we go, the sprint race, 50 minutes long, race 2. Reverse grid, so the grid has flipped, and as you can see, there is quite a lot of races. We got Tamworth, my mistake, Stig, Will, Spud, Gazard, Waventil, Stifler, Manta, Stim, and Raleigh, Tedua, Mayo, Dosis, Kazi, Susuke, and Tamworth Fox. But here we go into the countdown, and away we go for the final race of the first round of the GC Sport League, and I think everyone's off to a great start, and I think there's been a few back as well. I think Wellham's off for a fly up, but it seems that Stig Racing is off to have some challenge as well, as he loses a place. It seems that I think everyone's off to a great start. I think there's a 3 wide somewhere, which I saw back. There's lots. Susuke trying to overtake. Oh, there's on going sideways. It seems that Manta's gone off. Tedua is gone off as well. I think there's lots of fights happening at the back. I can't seem to look at the drivers at the back, unfortunately. We've got Stifler trying to overtake Gazerman, maybe going through the inside, but manages to get blocked off by him. And we also have Wave Intel still at 5th place, Rally Mafia at 6th place, Dosis 7th, Susuke 8th, but I think Susuke is in a battle at the moment with Stim, Sir Spud, and Tamworth Fox. Tamworth Fox doing very well, trying to overtake Sir Spud for 10th place. A great start by him, starting right at the back as well after winning race 1. Going up to 9th place, Mr. Stim, clearly less than a second. Very small gap. Sir Spud goes very wide. It seems to be Kazi's huge. Oh, I think it could be an unsafe return to the box. Tamworth Fox, it seems to be ghosting. I think there must be a problem, a technical problem. Dosis is now fighting Tamworth Fox, Kazi, and Mayo for the points at the moment. Huge points up for grabs. I think it's top 10 who gets points. I'm not sure how the pointing system works, but oh, there goes, off goes. I think that was one of the drivers there. I think it was Dosis. Dosis goes off the track. I can't seem to see his point of view at the moment. I can't see anyone's point of view, which is quite unfortunate. Looking at everyone else, Will is still has a very small gap, very small at the moment, from 0.5 I should say. Gazerman has a huge gap ahead, 1.3, and sets a very fast lap. Will at the moment with a 139.6 fastest lap at the moment. Well, he was leading the race in the first lap, and here comes his Mercedes teammate Gazerman up for grabs for P1. Could be a huge fight between these two cars around the next few corners, as Gazerman tries to gain up to Will, wanting to get that win. Especially what happened last race, he had a few frills and spills, especially with Waventil and Mr. Stim, and I think also with Manta as well. But I think that Will M has a huge advantage at the moment, going up, steaming ahead, up with 0.8 as it used to be 0.4. Wave Intel seems to be catching up very closely to Gazerman as well, after him braking a bit earlier and fighting with Will. And Susuke seems to be just behind of Wave Intel as well, so there could be a huge fight between all 4 cars. Stifler could be in trouble with Rally Maffei just behind, could go around the could go around the outside if he doesn't overtake around this corner. Here he comes, Rally Matthew, around the outside. Could he make a move? And I think he's trying to close that gap, but I think he's just not be able to make that move just yet. As we go around the very tricky chicane, I think it's like three chicane, double chicane here, 1, 2, and 3. And looks like Stim wants to join in the party as Randy Matthew's kind of struggling at the moment, trying to get the grabs. And here we go, Mr. Stim very fastly, Audi versus Honda. Could he go around the inside? And I think he's going to be trying to go around the inside. And here we go, Mr. Stim. Nicely done, look, making it look easy, and that's how you do it, says Mr. Stim. As Rally, unfortunately, wasn't able to overtake Stifler at the start of this race. Looking back, seems like Wave Intel's going to go around the inside. Suzuki nearly just going to be touching Wave as well. Could be going around the inside. Will has the advantage of going around the inside, but unfortunately he misses out and goes down to 3rd place. Suzuki now has his target up for grabs to go into the podium once again. As he started merely way at the back, but I think he has a great start, as you can see. But we do have quite a few other drivers trying for up for the taking for the win. Tamworth Fox up to 8th place, starting right at the back. Very brilliant start for him from the first few minutes of this race. Looking at the back, I don't see seems to be a big potential going into the pits quite early, as we're only been in 5 minutes of the race. We do have a few fights at the moment. We've got Stifler trying to go around the outside of Suzuki. Huge fight into the tricky chicane. I think he's going to be playing it safe as well. And I think there's been a little bit of a contact with Suzuki and Will, and Stifler takes that advantage and kind of corner cuts a bit in that last chicane. But luckily gets away with it just about, and now hoping to catch up with Will. We also have a few other drivers right at the back. Very close racing. Everyone less than a second. Rally Maffei could be going around the inside of Stim. They kind of touch as well, but Stim still retains 5th place, and I think Will has gone down to 9th place. I have no idea what happened to him. Tamworth Fox now trying to overtake Rally Maffei up for 7th place, and it seems that Mayo has got in the way of Rally Maffei as Rally Maffei now seems to be down to 7th place. Lots of fight, everyone less than a second in each other. Reverse grid is very, very dramatic. Mayo at the moment with the fastest lap of a 1:31.3. I think he gets a bonus point if he is in the top 10. And there's a bit of a fight behind between these 3 drivers. Tamworth Fox, Rally Maffei and Mayo fighting for it for 6th place. And I think oh, excuse me, sorry about that. Tamworth Fox seems to be wanting 6th place now, maybe going up 10 places, or well, 9 places to be more precise. As he tries to go around the inside, but unable to get, as he gets blocked by Rally Maffei, as the Belgian driver just fends off Tamworth Fox and still has 6th place in his hands. Setting up the grid, it seems that's they're all very close to each other, about like a second between all the drivers. Tamworth Fox spins and crashes into the barrier. Oh dear, there goes Tamworth. Very unfortunate for him as he goes down to 10th place. Hopefully he regains all those positions back after that mistake. And I think everyone else seems to be very close to each other. Rally Maffei has a huge gap ahead of Will after Tamworth Fox making a small mistake. Manta fighting with I think that's his teammate, esports teammate Kazi, as they're both from R2R. And I think it looks like Kazi is going to be wanting to have 8th position as they go around the next few corners. Less than 0.5 seconds we go. The gap seems to be increasing again as Manta takes advantage of that corner. Must be his favourite corner because he seems to be increasing the gap all the time, especially with Stim last race. Wave Intel goes into the pits, so does Suzuki, and seems to be 5 drivers into the pits. Very mad, and it seems to be Wave Intel to be refueling at the moment. Let's see what happens with his strat at the moment. Very apologise for the background sounds if you hear anything. 0.3, still fighting for it for third now. Well, they still need to pit. Stifler heads the race with an 8-second gap. Will, who needs to pit, is now second. Manta fighting at the moment with his team, well, kind of esports teammate, third place. Kazi fourth. Doses in 5th place, Tamworth Fox up to 6th place, Sir Spud cruising up to 2nd place, 7th place I meant, but Wave Intel, well, going up to 7th place as he easily overtakes Mr. Sir Spud there. Susuke as well up to 9th place, Mr. Stim up to 10th place, but we're going to look at Susuke overtaking Sir Spud very easily there. Mrs. 10th, Gazman 11th, Mayo 12th, Randy Maffey 13th, Teltra 14th, and Stig Racing 15th, who unfortunately missed the first race, which was quite unfortunate for him. But looking back at the race at the moment, I think Sir Spud is going to be another victim, as Mr. Stim in the Audi, driver for Livid Racing, I think if I'm correct, going around the inside of a Spud around this corner, also again making it look easy. Spud does a bit of, goes off track unfortunately, so he loses many positions. There goes Gazzaman through the inside, making it look easy, and I think Sir Spud is off the track as well, and I think he's going to go into the pits as he goes very slowly and limps inside the pits. Quite unfortunate for Sir Spud. So final 5 minutes of this race now, very close to the end, very quickly as well. Well, it is only 15 minutes of the race, and it seems that Gazzaman still has the 8th place on his cards at the moment, and it seems that Mayo still is desperate to get that 8th place. Tejua very looking to get points as well, as he's down 11th place. He goes like, I want to have those points. Let me get these points as he gets a personal best in sector 1. Stifler with a 131.1 at the moment. I think he's going to do his same strat again, not pitting in the sprint race. He did this last week back at the Red Bull Ring. He didn't pit in the sprint race, and I think he's going to do that again here, as he has a 13 second time gap ahead of Kazi. But I think Kazi's going to try and hunt him down, as I think he has a newer setup than him. Tamworth Fox though up to 3rd place. I think he still needs to pit unless he's gonna save it as well. Will is still 4th place. Wave Intel 5th. Bit of a fight between those two drivers, Susuke and Wave Intel 5th and 6th. Very, very close indeed. There goes Will into the pits, going down the grid as well. And sorry about that. Very apologise. I'm really sorry. Seems that yep, there's going to be a move made by Wave Intel, as Stifler did make a stop, if I'm correct, as he's gone down to 3rd place. Kazi now up to 1st place, Tamworth Fox 2nd, and Stifler 3rd, Tom and Wave Intel fighting for it for 4th place. Susuke goes around the inside, amazing move, but unfortunately just misses out, as he just does a bit of a slide. Very, very sneaky move going for that chicane, but I think he just misses it. Going a very, very amazing move there. Getting a comment there on, but unfortunately I'm not able to read it because I don't have my equipment with me, as it's all unpacked and all hidden and safe away. Very apologise if I'm not unable to read your comments tonight, guys, but I will ensure I will be able to read them in 2 weeks' time when I return from my vacation. Looking at Susuke, we're going to look at Susuke at the moment because he made a bit of a mistake trying to make a move on Wave Intel, but unfortunately fails and still goes down at 5th place. Looking down at the grid, Rally Maffey fighting with Gazzaman at the moment. Goes around left, goes around right. Could he make a move? Maybe at the final corner. Has a bit of advantage. I think this is a Mercedes versus Honda moment, as we go around the final few corners of the Dragon Tail Garden track. Around left and left again. And I think he made it perfectly. The gap is decreasing, and here comes the gap for Rally Maffey. Goes around the left side of Gazzaman. I think they're neck and neck as they go around the next corner, but it seems that Gazzaman says no, as I think he breaks a bit late. But here comes Rally Maffey. He goes like, I'm going to take it anyways. I'm going to have 7th place in the bag, and there he goes up to 7th. Looking at the grid here. Manta, oh, my mistake. Dosis is going to be gaining on Manta to get 10th place as we go to the final 2 minutes of this race. Nice rhyme there, I didn't mean to do that. But it seems that I think Manta just hitting off grass there. Now here comes Dosis chasing onto Manta, going into the next corner. Unless Manta does this right, Dosis could have the gap very close right now. The gap is still closing. Still 50-50, 2.6, yep, 2 seconds, now going up to 3 seconds. This is Manta's favourite corner. Like I said, as he increases the gap very widely. But it seems that Dosis says, no, I want this 10th place, I want to get points. As we go around this corner, it seems that Manta has a huge advantage around this. As the gap, oh no, it seems that Dosis is still behind him, still seems to close down the gap. Final 46 seconds, and I think this is going to be everyone's last lap of this race. We've got Susuke going to go around the inside of Wave Intel, very, very close. I think they touch a bit, and here we go into the next corner. I think they have a bit of touch, and they touch again, and it seems that Susuke's got up to 3rd place. Very, very close racing here between two drivers, two amazing drivers, I should say. And Susuke gains 3rd place, easy like that. Mayo up to 5th place, very, very close. And there we go into the final 10 seconds of this race. And I think everyone's on their final lap. Everyone's going to be finishing fair and square. And it looks like Kazi is closing up on Stifler. Stifler's gone up to 1st place. So here we go, final lap for everyone, one and all. So hold on tight, everyone. It seems to be a final lap drama, as Kazi seems to be closing down on Stifler, especially in these corners. Seems to be gaining some slipstream advantage, especially being 2nd place. And it seems that Stifler is increasing that gap very widely. Up to a 2nd he goes in that gap, and I don't think that gap's going to be closing down just yet. And it seems to be go into the final few corners goes Stifler. Any second now. He will retain another win in the 2nd race. We did see him in the 2nd race in Austria for pre-season, and I think he's going to win it again. Here comes Stifler crossing the line to win the 2nd race. And here comes Kazi as well. Wave Intel getting 3rd, Sesuke's 4th, Mayo 5th, Riley Maffey, amazing drive, 6th place, Gazman 7th, Tejwa 8th. Dosis, I think, unfortunately, overtakes Manta, goes up 4 seconds. Hopefully we'll be able to see that in a minute. Here goes the finish for Dosis, goes up the 9th. Finishing off the points will be Manta as he finishes 10th place. Will, the amazing livery driver, goes up to 11th. Sir Spud will be finishing 12th place, a second ahead of Mr. Stim. Amazing drive indeed. And here comes Mr. Stim as well, finishing 13th. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is race 2. What an amazing race. And there is your top 15. And here we are, our winner of today's 2nd race, our final race as well of the session, Stifler 1980. Amazing win for him. Going up 5 positions as well. Amazing race by both drivers. But it seems to be the end of today's session, with Tamworth Fox winning race 1, starting from the front as well, and Stifler winning race 2, very fair and square. Unfortunately, next week I won't be unavailable. I'm not 100% sure what the track is called, but I will be returning in 2 weeks' time. Hopefully, a replacement commentator will replace me next week. And I wish everyone good luck next week. I want to thank you guys for joining tonight's race. Very, very thankful. And I've seemed to have forgotten livery of the day, livery of the week. I think today I'm gonna give it to Gazaman. Gazaman is gonna get livery of the day tonight, with a very nice yellow and black themed Red Bull car. And congratulations to Gazaman winning livery of the day. Driver of the day, though, which is going to be difficult. I'm going to give it to Tamworth Fox with that amazing drive, starting from where the back in 2nd place. I think he's got up to like the top half as well. and winning first race endurance. So well done to him. So that seems to be the end of tonight's race. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully a co-commentator will replace me next week. But here comes a new season ahead. This is going to be a pretty interesting one, especially seeing these races. And I'll see you guys next time.